Welcome back to America's Forum here on Newsmax TV. After the enormous success of the television series The Bible, it comes as no surprise that Hollywood is paying close attention and has started to produce more biblical epics. Next week, 2 of these movies will be released on the very same day as the much talked about Son of God and Darren Aronofsky's Noah make their big screen debuts. Joining me right now to discuss Hollywood's latest obsession is the founder and publisher of Movieguide, Dr. Ted Baehr. Dr. Baehr, it's great to have you back with us.
Oh, it's great to be with you. And I noticed that some of Newsmax was at our Movieguide Awards Gala 2 weeks ago that airs on the same weekend as these 2 movies open. So go to the Reels channel on Saturday, the day before the Oscars, and see the better part of Hollywood.
Fair enough, fair enough. And we're excited about this. A lot of people are excited about this. More choices for more of America at movie theaters. Ted, The Son of God is attracting a lot of attention from critics and audiences alike, even before its general release. Why do you think that we are seeing this renewed interest in biblically themed films?
Well, there's many reasons. One, God is the ultimate reason. The second reason is these things come in waves. The third reason is that for many years we've been showing Hollywood that you can make more money by reaching out to 26 million people who go to church every week, and 87% of the audience that believes in God. And a new figure came out that the average filmgoer buys 1.5 tickets a year, but the evangelical, the Christian filmgoer buys 2.5 tickets a year. So they buy more tickets. There are more of them. It's a big box office. We do this big gala, and Chris Ruddy was there. And one of the guys was one of the founders of Legendary Pictures, and he said, the reason I put the, quote, Jesus myth, end quote, into Superman is because we can make more money at the box office. And so Superman goes to church, he prays with a minister, and he goes off to take a leap of faith. So there's a lot of reasons out there. Mark and Roma, who were just delightful and were at our big gala, and received our big Epiphany Prize. They're just on fire for God. Now, Mark's life didn't start out that way. My life didn't start out that way. So I'm proud of them, and I'm proud of the fact that they want to do something that is very, very clear. Son of God is going to be great. Noah we've seen and reviewed, and I know the guy who was responsible for it at Paramount, and I think it's going to do well too. So there's a lot of good movies coming out, a flood of them. Many of them I love. I love Heaven is for Real. So there's a lot of good stuff coming out.
All right, we'll talk about more of those films in just a second. A flood of them, maybe no pun intended there for the Noah film, but nice work anyway on a play of words. You talked about Mark Burnett and Roma Downey. Mark Burnett, of course, just a powerhouse producer. Roma Downey, her reputation speaks for herself. They, of course, produced the Bible miniseries, and that was a success critically, and got a lot of people to tune in, and also got a lot of people talking about God. What have you seen following that, Dr. Baehr? I mean, is there this flood we're talking about? Obviously, folks are starting to wake up to the potential here.
They're starting to wake up. But, every year movies with very clear Christian content do better at the box office. And every year it doesn't surprise Newsmax, but it surprises, the secular press because they don't want to believe it. But, there are more people who go to church than almost any other entity in the United States. My wife is from Argentina. There's a small group of Argentines. There's a great big group of churchgoers. So if you look at it over the last few years, and you can go to movieguide.org and see our reports to the entertainment industry, you'll see that, every year, even last year, with Les Miserables and other great movies with Christian content, that the movies with Christian content were doing 6 to 7 times more money at the box office than movies with anti-Christian content.
Sure.
So if you want to make money at the box office, you've got to do that.
And I remember
Mark and Roma.
Yes, definitely. And I remember going back, even years before that, The Passion, Mel Gibson's film, going to see that and covering that as a young reporter all those years ago. And the crowds were packing the theaters for that movie as well. So we see this more and more. We've heard you give some great reviews. Son of God is also getting great reviews. And we also are seeing these churches now buy out these movie theaters so that more of their congregations can go and see them. What type of cultural impact do you expect to see here in the next few months with all these folks going to the theater and seeing these films?
Boy, that's a brilliant question. And, I've talked to CNN and all the rest of them, and they don't ask that question. And that's a tough question to answer because you mentioned the Passion of Christ, and I grew up my father was a cowboy star and won the box office award, but they were not a religious family. He came to Christ when he was an old man. I came to Christ in the middle of my life. I have an uncle that's not a Christian, very curmudgeon, and he saw the Passion, and he really wanted to know more. And I found out from my aunt a couple of months later that there was no church, there was no connection. So the real story is it's like a commercial. You know, if you have a Ford commercial that shows you, or GM, which I don't like, but any other car company, Toyota, whatever, and the commercial gets you excited. I want to go buy a Prius, or I want to go buy a Honda Civic, or whatever it is, and then there's no place to buy it, you've wasted that commercial. So the key to Son of God, to Heaven is for Real, to Noah, to any one of those movies is the people who have faith and values, including Newsmax, that you have the tools to help people understand what they just saw. This is going to be just the commercial. Movies are not, I've taught cognitive development theory since I was head of the TV department at City University of New York. They are not the end-all, the be-all. They are just the door that opens the door to say, boy, if I had that iPad, I'd be a better writer. Now you've got to sell them the iPad. You've got to sell them the rest of the story. That's why when Jesus knew this, he preached, and then he worked with the disciples for 3 years to help him understand what he just said in the Sermon on the Mount. It takes a long time for all of the discipling to take place, and that's where we come in as people of faith.
Yeah, Dr. Baehr, it's great to see, too, the production value on these films is so great. It's not like there's a difference. You know, you get just the same type of action, the same type of acting, the sound, all those things on these films. Tell us a little bit more, Dr. Baehr, before we let you go, about your Movie Guide Awards. I know they haven't quite aired yet, but if folks want to tune in and check them out, let us know where they can go to catch them.
Well, a lot of the people who made these films came to the Movie Guide Awards. Roma Downey received our Grace Prize for the Bible, and even Duck Dynasty came, and we gave out a prize for Free Enterprise.
That's
and
great.
All of that is going to be on Reel's channel, which is where Hollywood is, so the hip Hollywood channel, on the weekend of the Oscars. So it's 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Reel channel. Go to movieguide.org. We'll give you information on how to find it. They reach 76 million people, and I hope you're one of them. So
Good
God
stuff,
bless.
Dr.
Thank
Baehr.
you.
It's been a pleasure having you here. Always great to talk to you. Get out and see these films. They're great films. We'll be right back with more here on America's Forum. Coming up, the second part of our interview with former Polish President Lech Walesa. We'll be right back with more after this.